If you are like me and you're someone who cares a lot and who tries very hard and who has a lot of goals, you might be very attached to those outcomes. And personally, I have found life to be a lot nicer since I have figured out how to detach from my goals. So I want to talk about that today. My strawberry is detachment, because it is so a possibility. That's a weird way to put it. It is so possible to care a lot and also remain detached from outcomes, goals, people, all of that. So let's get into how I figured out how to detach myself from people, outcomes, and goals, because my life has been a lot lighter since I released my tie of my energy and my emotions to outcomes, goals, and people. That's what we're going with. Those are the three main things that I think people often get attached to. Yeah, this morning I had a bit of a realization when my friend came into the locker room in a less than wonderful mood, I would say. A couple months ago, I would have like really fed off that energy and matched her energy, because I was very attached to her. I don't know, like her worldview. I don't know, like when you get close to someone, you can often find yourself getting intertwined with their emotions and letting their emotions dictate your emotions. And I found that recently I've been telling myself that it's okay if she has a bad day. I'm allowed to have a good day even if she has a bad day. Because my life shouldn't be influenced by her life. And that's not to say I don't care about her or that I don't want her to have a good day, because obviously I do. But I can detach myself enough from her and from her problems and from her life that I can keep my good day going even when she walks into it with her shitty attitude, to put it nicely. But I think it goes further than just like a quick interaction like that. Detachment in friendship as a whole, I found, has been a really important part of my friendships developing, because I would say at this time last year we were all a little too interdependent. There's three of us, so it was like that. And we were linked at the hip. We were like, if one of us was having a bad day, we were all having a bad day. But we would also get very sensitive if someone canceled, changed plans, that kind of thing. All three of us, we would like, our feathers would get ruffled by it, because we were so attached to the idea that being friends meant we had to see each other XYZ amount of time. We had to like continue with the same standard of friendship that we have always had. But as we know, life comes in seasons. Cheesy. But there are going to be seasons where you drift apart and drift back together with people and can spend more and less time with people. But that doesn't mean your relationship is any more or less valid. I think detaching from the idea that a friendship has to remain a certain way, or a relationship has to remain a certain way for it to be valid, is, I mean, detaching from that gives you the freedom to see your relationships as part of your life, not something that like holds you back. I don't know how to put that. Gosh, this has really been a wonderful challenge, this filming myself because I go into this with like one idea and then I just have to riff on it. And like, I know what I want to say, but I can't always get my words out quite right. And it's liberating to know that it doesn't really matter that much because like 6 people see it. But it's just such a fun challenge for me to like wrap my head around what I'm trying to say. So let's talk detachment with goals and outcomes. Because with people getting intertwined and becoming interdependent, all of that stuff is, I don't know, it's very like, every case is different, one-on-one. But with goals and outcomes, I think it's a little bit more universal that we obviously all want to achieve our goals. But no matter what that goal is, there's going to be a time period between when you establish that goal and when you achieve that goal that it's just going to be reps. It's just going to be work. And depending on the type of goal, whether it's like an input, like I want to work out 5 times a week, I want to eat 125 grams of protein a day, I want to go on 2 walks every day, not that those are my goals or anything, versus like a goal you can't control, like, or I don't know, like lose X number of pounds. Like you can control for the input factors, but you can't control for the actual output. I think separating yourself from whether or not that thing happens and focusing on the way in which you put in the reps is the difference between being attached and being detached. When I set out on my fitness journey, and more specifically my weight loss journey about a year ago. Fitness journey, I'd say, started like 2 years ago. Weight loss started about a year ago. I knew that there would be a day where I would have completed the task at hand. But I couldn't live for that day. I couldn't live every day for the hope that that day would make all the other days worth it. Like, you have to be in love with the process to find real fulfillment. You can't let whether or not you hit an outcome by a certain time determine whether or not you've felt growth and felt progress during the time that you've been on the path toward achieving that goal. So, for instance, in my last video, I made the ridiculous, bold declaration that I was going to be the first openly gay Gymshark athlete, which I immediately realized. I was like, there's probably been other openly gay Gymshark athletes. Like, what are you saying, girl? But it goes without saying, that's still a goal of mine. But I'm not going to punish myself until the day that happens just because I've gotten it in my head that I want it to happen and it hasn't happened yet. Separating your journey from your destination. God, it's so hard not to go with the cliches like seasons and saying shit like that. But whatever. Separating the journey from the destination is so... That's life. Like, I'm about to go make merch for the podcast, for Professional Yappers podcast. Go like and subscribe. For the first time. I'm never going to get to make merch again for the first time. Like, that's part of the process. We have not hit the goals that we have set out to hit, but that's like a little thing for during this process that is not attached to the outcome that I can just sit with and like love that I'm in this part of the process. Like, it's just a little thing. It's a little milestone, and it's not attached to the biggest goal in the world. So, all of that to say, if you feel like your happiness is dependent on whether or not you achieve something or whether or not someone else has achieved something or is in a certain mood, take a look at how that's affecting you and your mindset toward the reps that you still have to put in before you hit that goal. Because the time is going to pass anyway. That's all.